Welcome back to the Just God podcast. This is episode 8, and the topic of today will be dealing with anxiety. This is our special guest, Erin Eck, and she'll be reading the verse of the day.
Okay, so the verse of the day is 1 Peter 5:7, and it states, "Give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares about you."
That's good. Yeah, I know some version says anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you.
yeah. But this is like the NLT version, so yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess going off anxiety, the verse says to put all your anxieties on him, but I feel like we usually cast our anxieties on other things. Like that could be drugs or like just to numb the pain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or like alcohol. I know some people probably mostly use alcohol for that.
Yeah.
But
What I do is when I'm dealing with anxiety is like, I'm just like, Lord, take it away from me. And that's not just with anxiety, it's with like anything I'm struggling with. Like if I'm like, if I want to listen to a bad song, I'm like, Lord, take this desire away, you know? So yeah, it's not only anxiety that verse applies to, I feel like.
yeah.
Like a lot of personal problems that you have going on with your life. And to me, it's like anxiety pushes you far away from God, but you really just need to trust in him and just bring all your worries to him, and then you won't have those problems anymore, you know?
I feel like going back to what Brock said, he like pretty much put it in a sense of like going to use the counterfeit.
Yeah.
When we have the answer that is God, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And when we use that counterfeit, like you said, I feel like that just draws us farther away from him.
Yeah.
Because when we run to him, he's right there.
Mhm.
And it says because he cares for us.
Yeah, like the world, they want you to run to that kind of stuff too, as well. And then like, I don't know, maybe this is like a big statement, but I feel like when you have anxiety, it can cause you to fall into temptation too. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I mean, like you said, that's what a lot of people turn to when they're nervous or don't know what to do. Like an example is like something happens in your life, like a family member dies or just something like that happens. A lot of people don't know what to do, so they turn to alcohol, drugs, or pornography, or just something just to get their mind off it and numb the pain. But you know, as we talked about, that'll only numb the pain for a little bit. But when we turn to God, like the pain's full. It's no more pain, no more suffering.
Yeah.
Right. And with what Brant said, some people, when they turn to that stuff, instead of turning to God, it's like they're stuck. Like they don't know where to go because they've already dug themselves a big hole. So they're just like, well, I can't turn to God now because I've already done all of these things.
Yeah. And like anxiety's like no joke. Like it can really like not mess you up in a sense, but like it can get so bad that you're just like, what I do? You know, like you're just, it's like, and the anxiety's like eating you up and you're like, just kind of like stuck, I guess.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like that first clip I made of you. Like almost word for word. Yeah. I was getting like flashbacks.
Clip for me.
no, I swear it's on
Part 2. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like I've had times where like, I guess it's like the devil, I suppose, like trying to get in my head, telling me that I might fail or just making me doubt myself, you know. So it's just like I've never said I've really had anxiety, just because like I don't really know, like I never really like label myself with that type of stuff. But like there's stuff where, you know, like I kind of like overthink a lot, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was
like that's honestly probably the biggest thing with me.
I feel like overthinking and anxiety are kind of like 2 and 2.
Yeah, they definitely go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I like to rephrase something I said. When I said no suffering, I just mean like instead of numbing the pain for a little bit, it just like it goes away for like a long, or I don't know how to phrase it, but it's like a permanent cure. Like you're still gonna like hurt, but it's still like a cure. Yeah, you have somebody to go to. Thanks.
Do y'all know anybody in the Bible that faced anxiety or like overthinking?
Jesus, before he was going on the cross, he like didn't he sweat blood?
Yeah, because he was praying so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
about.
he was like worried so much. Was it? Did he start like sweating blood? Was that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's like
Probably the most
next.
anxiety.
That's like next level anxiety when you're literally sweating blood because he knew what he was about to face. So like, because I mean, he obviously knew how bad it was gonna be. Because like
yeah,
the Romans, they were no joke. Like you do something, you claim to be God, or anything that like interferes with what they believe in and what they stand for. I mean, that's gonna be rough.
Right. And when he was going through all that, when like he was suffering and all those things, at the very end, he knew at the very end, God was still with him.
Yep.
And that he is guiding him through this entire torture that he was going through.
yeah. Another person that I thought of was well, his name was Thomas, but they called him Doubting Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And kind of how we were talking about with overthinking, that's kind of like the same.
I was gonna say that. I just didn't know if it was him or not.
Yeah,
I
I didn't. I've never like personally. I never looked into why they called him Doubting Thomas.
Because when Jesus came back and he was showing the disciples his
Oh, okay.
the like Thomas wouldn't believe that was actually him.
Yeah.
So that's why they called him that.
Oh, yeah. I can never figure out.
Is
what
that
his name-
anxiety or is that?
It's kind of like
I don't know.
doubting, overthink. I don't know.
Yeah. Another one is Jonah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how God told him to go to what, Nineveh? Is that the name of the city?
Oh yeah,
Nineveh. And he was starting to like get scared, like,
Yeah.
God, now I'm gonna get probably killed.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a dangerous mission. I should not go. And even try to like even run away from God, you know?
Mhm.
And it wasn't until God put him in such like a bad situation, you know, to the point where he was like, you know, I might as well just go do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. Another person that I just thought of was Job. I know it may not specify.
It's like
in
the
Bible.
8th Job.
Yeah, bro,
Every single episode is Job.
Yeah. But like,
you can always resort back to
I'm
Job.
sure. I'm sure Job, like, he had anxiety, but he trusted the Lord with everything. I mean, even his wife was like, "Why are you still following God if God wasn't doing it to him, but like, why would you put your trust into this God or whatever like that?" But yeah, I'm sure he had anxiety.
Yeah.
But I mean,
For me, anxiety's something I struggle with all the time. And like I say this all the time, but when Satan knows your weak points, he's gonna attack it, and
Yeah.
he's gonna keep attacking it, and that's when it gets real, and you're just like, "Would I like help me?" Like you know. So every time I have anxiety, I always go to God and pray to ask Him to take it away, and He does in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Thank you." So yeah.
Yeah.
So what's some things that y'all are anxious over?
I'd say probably school or sports. One of those two. Not that it's like a bad thing, but it just, I don't know, causes a lot of stress.
I would definitely say like going to college next year.
Oh yeah, that's big.
Yeah, it's really got a toll on me right now. So
I'd say my future. I've
Yeah,
always
us
had
too.
like, I've always been really ambitious,
Mhm.
but like some people, like I guess it just kind of gets in my head. Like I've said before, like I want to become like a filmmaker or whatever.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But like I kind of just think, what if that doesn't work out? You know,
Yeah.
like of course I try to have confidence that I can because I know my ability and my skills into it.
Mhm.
But it's just also like sometimes you just gotta be lucky, and I don't know if I'll have that luck. You know.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like what I have anxiety with is like doubt my salvation and stuff. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me is because like I go off feeling like when I'm listening to Christian songs, like, and you get chills, you know, when like a
Mhm.
verse hits or something. I'm like, and I don't get chills from a verse that like I know I have gotten chills from. It like kind of
Yeah.
makes me like overthink and like get freaked out. But
Mhm.
I know like you're not supposed to go off feeling
Yeah.
as a Christian. You just got to know that the Holy Spirit's in you like all the time, and
Mhm.
that can never be taken away.
Yeah.
I guess one thing I struggle with, or I don't really struggle with anxiety. I mean, the only thing I really like the type of anxiety I kind of struggle with is like relationship anxiety, like, and that doesn't mean just like boyfriend girlfriend relationship. It's more of just like a relationship I have with people, like, you know, if I hurt their feelings or like just overthink it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, when I do struggle with drop your phone. No, but when I do struggle, well, hold up, let me think. What? Yeah. But when I start, you know, if I ever do start to overthink about something, I just know that God knows what's going to happen. He is the remote control, and like in, you know, a couple days, I'm probably not going to even remember what I was worrying about, you know, because, you know, I know a lot of like seniors and people going to college, you know, struggle with, you know, what am I going to do? Like just anxious about it. But, you know, in a couple years when you're like doing the thing, whatever you're doing later on in life, you know, that anxiety's gone, you know, and most of the time people love what they're doing, and just God is the plan. So
Just trust that.
yeah, but I mean, it is easier said than done for sure.
What you said about the relationships and, you know, trying to not overthink and just trying your best to navigate those relationships. I always struggle with like overthinking and always thinking that the worst is going to happen. And I always have to remember, like, God has a plan for me. And sometimes, like, I'll admit I doubt his plan, but I just got to remember, like, this is what he has for you. Like he is guiding you.
God's will is so much better than your own will.
Yes.
That you want for your life.
It's so much better than what the world has to offer for you.
Yeah. And if we saw what God saw, we'd choose the exact same thing to go on. That's what I always think when, you know, if I ever deal with anxiety.
You guys ever had like, I don't know, like a story where you've gone through like really bad anxiety, I guess. I don't know. Maybe to the point where you're like crying, I guess. I'm not sure.
I had anxiety when the Lord called me to preach. I had like fear and anxiety that that was gonna be something I struggled with, like being afraid, because I mean I was afraid to preach for the first time, and I was just scared that like I was always gonna be that scared to preach, and I guess that was something I got anxious over. I was anxious over what God's plan was for my life.
I guess I have one experience. I guess it's coming to like this school to Marshall, and like I remember, like that summer, I had no idea I was gonna go to like a whole different school, and then that didn't work, and then I was like, all right, I was gonna homeschool, and I was so like as soon as I came here, I was like, you could probably tell I was nervous. Like I'd not like talk to
You're
people.
really quiet.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, then if this don't work, then what else? But like I just had to trust in the Lord that this was the place where He wanted me to be at, and like it's been a blessing. Just to, like if I didn't go here, I wouldn't be on this podcast. Like
We probably wouldn't even started it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just crazy. Like if you trust in the Lord, then that's the best plan for your life.
Right. And I've noticed, you know, since 2 years ago, you were super quiet, and
Yeah.
now you're just like you talk and like I'm talking like,
I was mute.
like yes, you talk like all the time. No, I meant just like you've come out of your shell, and you're not like afraid to be who you are around people. So
You know, now you're singing in front of the whole chapel now.
Yeah,
Like
I know,
multiple
bro.
weeks.
Yeah.
Multiple.
I mean, I was anxious about that too, honestly. Like, I was like, I'm gonna sound awful. Like, I can't sing or whatever. But it don't matter how you sound. It matters who you're
Doing it.
like
doing it
it's
for,
all
yeah.
for God, you know.
Yeah.
When I like was gonna first come here, like I was very nervous.
Yeah.
Not like incredibly nervous because I knew some people that were here, but I didn't think on it.
Hey,
Please don't drop that ball.
I knew Brock from basketball,
Yeah.
but I didn't know this boy. We had some beef.
started
it. I was you, but I knew Brock a little bit. Like I didn't know. I don't think we ever like
Yeah, we never like really talked.
talked. Yeah, but I was like, oh, I remember you. I remember you. I remember your bro. And then, but I knew like kids that went to my last school, so it was kind of like easy, but like to like start talking and stuff and not be like quiet, but like the classes and like Bible, like a whole different experience because at public schools you don't have a Bible class in the morning. Like you don't have time to read your Bible. Like you're just kind of like, okay, but yeah.
I think a big thing too, what people struggle with, or what I struggle with, is like, what you like. I constantly think about what other people are thinking about me,
Oh yeah.
and like how they see me, and that's like I feel like almost everybody struggles with that because I mean, you don't want to seem like a weirdo to other people, but
Yeah.
like I mean,
But you're gonna meet people in your life who
Yeah.
do not like you, and
Yeah.
at
That's
the end
part
of
of
the day,
life.
you're gonna have to accept that
yeah,
and just be like, I'm gonna be nice to them because it's the godly thing to do, and just love them. But
Mhm.
if they don't love me back, then so be it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if they don't like me back, then so be
On
it.
those days, you just gotta move on and just think like you just gotta pray for them. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Think about what's best for them.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, the Bible doesn't tell us we have to like people, but we should show them love,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Because there's some people I don't really prefer to be around, I guess, because no, but they're just like not really the nicest people to me. But at the end of the day, we still got to show them love, and we still got to show them Christ through us.
Because what did God do? Or what did Jesus do when he was on that? Nobody. Like, obviously the disciples and all that, but the Roman soldiers, they crucified him. But he still
Yeah.
loved them to death.
Yeah, he still
Yeah.
showed
Yeah.
them love.
Mm-hmm.
He loved them so much.
He still even forgave him too.
Yeah.
Like, that's
That's crazy.
yeah,
I mean, that makes you ask yourself, would you do that for someone that has done that to you?
yeah.
And it's a really hard question.
Mm-hmm.
And God wants us to live the way that He lives. Not
Mhm.
perfect, obviously, but we have to be kind to people, even to the people that don't treat us right.
Yeah.
This is like kind of off topic, but do y'all think the Roman soldiers think some of them was like actually believed Jesus? Like,
I think so.
I think so too, but like they couldn't believe or like
they couldn't express
if
it.
you expressed it, then you
Yeah.
would like die.
Because there was
Yeah.
like one that even came to Jesus
Yeah.
who had like really good faith. It's like, please heal my servant.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was definitely some people who did.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
They had to do it like secretly. Kinda.
yeah. But I mean, he like believed in Jesus so much that he was willing to even like, he didn't care really.
Yeah, he basically like risked his life.
Yeah. He just still asked them to.
If I was
heal
Roman
his servant.
soldier, I would be like, I would rethink everything because like you're seeing Jesus do all these incredible
Yeah, I know,
things,
bruh.
and then wait, who cut his ear off, or who cut the Roman? Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter. Peter cut.
But I don't
cut
know how
his
you
ear
got
off, and then Jesus like put it back.
I don't know how you,
on.
like, if I was
What?
one of those guards, I'd
I
be
would
like,
be like-
all right, man.
I'd be like,
Like, you could arrest us.
do it again. Do it again.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's no way they were like, no, he ain't the Messiah. I mean, no one puts an ear back on somebody. Like, that's just crazy.
He's like, you dropped this.
I got you.
Hey, I
just
cut my finger
insane.
when I was little. Could you fix that? Too? Yeah.
All right, I got a question for y'all. I want Erin to answer it first. If you get the
Okay,
answer.
I got you.
So, what is the difference between fear and anxiety?
Fear and anxiety.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
it's
a
pretty
tough
tough.
question because they're
I feel like you can type both of them in.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel
So
like
fear, it's like you don't know what to do. Like you're faced with a problem, you're just scared to face it. But with anxiety, it's like you always think that there's a problem. Like there's always things around you that just makes you anxious.
Yeah.
And it's not that like there's always there's always a problem there. It's just it's in your head. And with fear, it's, you're scared. It's not that you're technically anxious. It's just you're scared of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I guess.
I know what you're saying. Like, anxiety's more of like a fear for long term.
It's like a
It stays with you,
mhm.
and then I feel like fear is more just like in the moment, maybe, if
Mhm.
that's a good word. If I scare Connor, like, boo.
No, with anxiety, it's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a long-term thing that you're always gonna have to deal with. But in the moment, fear just strikes you,
Yeah.
and it like corrupts your
Yeah.
whole body, and you just don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Anxiety just stays with you longer, and then fear is more of just like a there thing. if that
I think
makes sense.
I think anxiety too could be like it's with like multiple things, and other fear could be just with like a couple things. I don't like anxiety can literally be anything like that makes you anxious. Ugh, can't speak.
I haven't really told anybody this, but what?
No.
I remember when it's just like a little bit like how the podcast even began, because like I remember I told you guys like, hey, me and Brock are starting a podcast. You guys want to be on it? But before that,
Special guest.
only for episode 1.
Now we're making it.
Just imagine that, just me and Brock. Yeah. But I remember when it came to that point, I was really into David Dobrik vlogs and stuff because I really found it funny. And hold up, let me backtrack a little bit. This is I remember one day I was in my room, and I think that day I didn't do a single what's it called when you like
Devotion.
no, it's like when you don't do anything useful or
Productive.
productive. Yeah, I hadn't done a single productive thing that day. And I remember at the end of the day, I kind of just realized, like, what am I here to be? Like, what am I here to be? What am I here for? You know?
Mhm.
And I just felt like in that moment, I just kind of like got those thoughts where like, I felt useless, you know?
Yeah.
I just felt like I had really no worth. And I was just like, I just spent my whole day doing nothing, you know? And it just felt like weird, you know? Like, I was just doom scrolling the whole day, not really doing anything. And it wasn't one of those days where you just like a chill day. It's just like those days where you're like, I literally don't know what
Exhausted.
I literally have
Procrastinating.
nothing to work on or nothing to do right now, you know? And like, I remember I started like kind of crying pretty much. And that's honestly when I first started reading 1st and 2nd Peter. That's the same day. And I remember that I was just like in my room crying because I just felt like I had no purpose and stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like, okay, now this is the point where I used to watch like David Dobrik vlogs because he was really funny. And he had this one podcast. It was all the way with the D'Amelio sisters. But it was like weird, but it was entertaining. I was like, that's really cool. Like, I already talk a lot. I might as well do it on camera. But
True.
yeah, then I went up to Brock. I was like, what if he started a podcast? And at first, we had no intention of making it a Christian podcast. It was more of just like,
Movies and random topics and
yeah, just
stuff
like,
like that.
yeah, just like what's going around the world. Like, if it wasn't Christian, we'd probably be talking about like the Trump tariffs or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. But I was like, but I think I remembered last year, me and Brock were going to start a clothing brand called Just God.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, that name's kind of good. And because I remember he had an Instagram account, and I was like going through my following, and I saw it. I was like, what if we made the podcast a Christian podcast and called it the Just God podcast? And you're like, sure. And I remember I was going to buy these microphones, you know, they're like a lot of stuff
Yeah.
like pre-planning, but it came to the point where I was like, let's just do it. You know, I don't care how like, you know, how good the first episode is. Like, we literally filmed in my garage.
Yeah, for real.
That's crazy. And like,
was down, but now.
like that video, like I saw how many views it has now. 240 views.
Yeah.
That is crazy. 240 people have came in and actually listened to us, and now we're still like maintaining that number in our videos. But like Will, you know that picture, that text of Will.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if he's listening right now, but you're like that message. He's like, man, I love hearing y'all's podcast. Like when I'm like doing something or something, you know, like I just love hearing it. And like, bro, it just like, it makes me so happy. Like
Like it gave us motivation. I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I went from my room crying, pretty much like questioning God, why, like, am I like, what am I here for, you know?
Mhm.
And then now, like, we're actually doing this, which is like crazy, and this is just the
Yeah.
beginning. So
Yeah.
yeah, just a little
Um,
story.
But I mean, I think it would have been okay if just one person watches it. It's
Mhm.
not really about views. It's more just like people like getting it and like applying it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah, like there's people that comment and stuff like, this is awesome.
Because like
Yeah.
one person can share it to another person, and it
Exactly.
It
spreads.
can go a long
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Plant seeds.
One thing that I've always thought, like ever since that y'all started the podcast, is y'all are just a bunch of high school kids talking about God. And when you think about this generation, there's not a lot of kids like you guys and myself. And kids in like public high schools and, homeschooled kids, they're not getting the experience that we get every single day. And it kind of makes you lose hope in this generation because kids turn to worldly things. And it's like, all hope is lost really because they're just like, okay, well, God's not real, you know? Like, what's the point of opening my Bible? Like, it's just a book. And there's so many other things to believe in. And, some people just think, oh, well, Christianity is just a trend. But with you guys, it makes me have hope for the future. And there's still kids our age trying to learn the gospel and trying to do what's right in God's eyes.
Yeah, that's good.
A little bit more motivation.
Yeah. But Christianity is the most popular religion. And it's easy to just be a Christian. Like say you're a Christian, but it's one thing to live it out. And it may be the most popular by people saying that that's their religion, but only like 10% of Christians read their Bible every day. And that's like the real followers, I feel like, if that makes sense.
If we like could like cut out religion, like Christianity, as like our topic, we could just, or as our religion, and like not even necessarily have a religion, but like label ourselves as a follower of Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of being like labeled as a Christian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how I kind of view it. Like, you got the Christian who just Sunday, Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
don't open their Bible, just kind of
Yeah.
goes through the motions. You know?
The thing about Christianity too, that's different than other religions is Christianity is like a relationship, not
Yeah.
a religion.
Yeah.
Like other religions, you have to like. I mean, their gods are dead. Like they I don't.
Statues.
Yeah, they're statues, but like our God is alive and
Yeah.
like
And
you
he's
can talk to
spiritually
him like a
active.
father. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. Me personally, I don't understand how you could not believe.
Yeah.
Like I just can't wrap my
And
mind
there's
around it.
like historical like witness. People
Yeah.
saw Jesus. Like
Yeah.
and there's historical document that this stuff happened.
Like the Euphrates River. Like I don't know. I don't know how
And
people
like the
could.
prophecy in Revelation,
The moon.
like slowly like coming
Yeah.
to like life. That's insane.
You know about the
Yeah.
moon?
That it rusts, and then that's one of the signs.
I think it was Sunday. Our youth pastor Ryan, shout out to him. But he was talking about Jesus coming back, and he said like the last thing that will fulfill the prophecy is the Euphrates River, and I mean it's already drying up. But like he didn't want
2040. I
Yeah,
think.
2040.
Yeah, 2040.
But I mean the Euphrates River doesn't have to dry up like in 24. I mean we can be gone before we finish this podcast, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're a viewer, if you're a viewer and you don't know if you're saved, you better know, because I've heard the saying, eternity's too long to be wrong.
Bro.
That's one of the most.
know that you
That's one of the most
No, I
like
got-
anxious things that a human can think about. I
Like-
feel like.
Our human mind can't even like. I feel like we can't even put like a definition on it. Eternity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our brains can't
It's not. It's not even like some people
Like-
like think it's like infinity, but like it's longer than that like
Yeah.
You got to think when we die, we either heaven, hell. We stay in there for the rest of our life,
yeah
or for the rest of our spiritual, or
yeah
That's
like
forever,
that-
man.
yeah
like
That's crazy.
like living in heaven forever is like
yeah.
my.
And the thing is, you don't get to
like
like
oh my.
you don't get to like quit either. Like there's
Yeah.
not like a set time when it ends.
We're like so concepted in like time, like getting here,
Yeah.
like early, late, that like we just can't even like.
I mean, time doesn't even exist.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think the only thing that can like put in perspective for eternity is driving to Gulf Shores and back just nonstop. It's just like it's so hard to like process. I don't think our human minds can process eternity. Like we know that it's forever, but it's just like the one song where it's like 10,000 years and forevermore.
I sang
Just
that
like-
song when I was a kid.
What
I sang that song at church when I was a kid.
what song is that again?
It's 10,000 Reasons.
10,000 Reasons?
Yeah.
But like singing his praises for 10,000 years. So think about this: singing his praise for 10,000 years, and doing it again, and again, and again, and again, like just nonstop.
yeah.
Earlier about what Connor was saying about how people will say they're Christian, yet they don't do like the behaviors of a Christian. Yesterday, I think I read maybe Mark 4. I can't really exactly remember. But it was talking about like how Jesus was telling the Pharisees, or it was the Sadducees, I can't really remember. But he was like, it's not what, like, man isn't defiled by what they eat, it's by what they do, you know? So I feel like we can easily say something like, like I've said a couple times before, but like you can say you're Christian, but if your like behaviors don't match up with, you know, what you're saying to be, then it might like misguide someone else or mislead someone else. Kind of like how you said, like it'd be weird if you see you're like a pastor at a
Yeah.
bar or something, you know.
Yeah.
Then it
Yeah.
kind of just changes your perspective.
like being
on that.
lukewarm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, here's my thing. This is my thing. We need to go all in on God, you know? Because, like, some people, like, why wouldn't you want to go all in on God? He went all in on you.
Yeah.
And he's still all in on you. You know what I mean? So why would you not chase after him?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, so I want to ask y'all another question. Do you think it's okay for Christians to take medication for anxiety, or do you think we should
Me
just?
personally, I've never had to take it, but I mean,
Do you think we should just just use God for anxiety?
I don't know, because I feel like sometimes something that I know some Christians do, they go to like therapy, right? So I feel like you said, can you only look for God? I think God definitely has to be like a big part of it, but like I don't
sometimes people need that. I don't,
like someone to talk to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
therapy doesn't have to be like, you know, $200 an hour type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be talking to your friend.
Just
Like,
be
how
with
many
like a
times-
friend.
yeah, like how many
Yeah.
times have I talked about you?
Yeah.
I would say that's therapy. You know, but like, you know,
Or medication, yeah.
Exactly. I'm not so sure about that because I've never like known anyone.
Yeah.
Or have been on medication for anxiety or anything.
I don't
like
think
that,
there's, like, anything wrong with taking, like, medication for anxiety, but, like, don't let it
Yeah,
over,
like-
like, don't let
Yeah.
that consume your time
yeah.
from not going to God in those moments of
Yeah.
struggle.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
don't put medication
over God. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when he was talking about therapy, I go to therapy, but when I go, before I even started therapy, I asked my therapist, can we base this like off of a Christian standpoint? Like whenever we have our sessions, can like God be the center of it? And so that's what we talk about every time I have those sessions. Our main focus is God whenever I'm talking to her about my problems. And so I think that's a really good thing when I go to therapy, because it doesn't have to be like, okay, well, how can you fix my problems since you're my therapist?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, how can God help me face my problems?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like the therapist isn't really like. It's not really like you're not relying on the therapist to like solve your problems, but it's just like helping you solve them with the Bible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like helping me.
Yeah, and
navigate it.
I like I think it's perfectly okay for people to go to therapy and therapists, because that's like, in a way, that's some people's callings that the Lord's placed on their lives, is to be therapists and help people with their problems.
Yeah. Also, like
Through the Bible.
we go to doctors too. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a therapist is basically
Yeah.
a doctor.
Yeah, it's like a mental doctor.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I think Lord's given them that gift of being a therapist.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. See, what's another anxiety question?
I want to hear something from Cameron.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
say
You
hey,
don't know
Cameron.
who he is? He's gonna be our next.
Say hey,
podcast.
Cameron.
I don't think you can hear.
You gonna have me say something?
Say what's up.
What's up, podcast? I've never been on one of
How'd you
these
get over
before.
here?
He's from the heavens right now.
Where is it? Wait, it's kicked off the podcast.
I think we found a replacement.
Well,
Well, Cameron's gonna be on
Next week's
next
podcast.
yerp.
Get a little
Wait,
glimpse
next
of
week's.
Next week is gonna be published. Tomorrow we're filming.
Sure, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like what y'all kind of said, because I'm on an medication, and I think that like what Brant and Connor were picking up on, don't let that like medicine don't do not think that is like helping you like over what God is doing for you and all that. So, yeah.
Don't make that your main solution.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Medicine can help, but God can help better.
Oh
Yeah.
He can heal you permanently.
Yeah.
Is it ever good to have anxiety?
Ah,
No. Okay. Speaking from a professional.
listen. I think it is okay. I don't think it's necessarily like a good thing.
You should have anxiety.
Like, yeah. But we can have anxiety about our relationship with God. Is it like, is it growing? Am I producing much fruit, or am I declining? We can also have it about being like, I want to say like a lukewarm person. Like, are we a lukewarm Christian? Are we doing the bare minimum? Are we like just going through the motions pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't let anxiety like be a burden on you. When it becomes like that point, that is when it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
But
Don't let it
anxiety,
control you.
yes,
Yeah.
don't let it control like your thoughts and who you are and what you believe and all that. Just a little bit of worry is good, but if you let it go like too far, it's where you cross the line there. So.
Yeah, I think like what you just said, we can't let anxiety define us, because that's not who we are. Because what Satan tells us, because let's be honest, all anxiety's got to be from
Yeah.
Satan, because that's, whole definition of Satan is a lie, But,
you said like anxiety.
oh, well, yeah,
Besides that one.
yeah, like, I'm just saying like most like, like insecure,
Like the bad anxiety.
yeah, like
Yeah.
self-doubting anxiety, like insecurity, like I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. I feel like that's all got to be all from Satan.
Oh yeah.
But we can't let that define us.
Mhm.
Define us. We got to just like run to God, and He'll show us our calling and our purpose. So yeah.
Thank you for watching the Just God podcast, and hope all y'all tune in on next episode with Cameron Bailey. And until then, explosion.